Where's Riley?
She's not here.
There she is.
We lost her at Molesworth.
Look, we're all squished up on our couch.
Yes, what places in that country?
Just watching some Super Rugby, Sophie. Oh, don't. Oh, yeah, they're playing in Dunedin too, eh? We saw. Oh, no, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Wait.
Good vibes. Hello. There we go. Milestone. We can see you and hear you. Hello from New Zealand. Where are you from? Good vibes. Where are you watching from?
Right. Squish it into dead. Here she comes.
All right. Does this thing scroll or what? So we've got 9 people so far. All right. Hi, leopards. How's it going? We're not the most technical savvy people, even though we get some reasonably good video editing going. When it comes to figuring these kinds of things out, not so good. Can you hear us all right? I'm guessing you can. Hi, Fam Bam. Chosen 1978. Hello. Loud and clear. Oh, good. Is the picture quality all right? This is literally just the camera that's built into the laptop. Flooding, aging up here again. Oh, no. Where are you guys based? Are you... Oh, yeah, looking and sounding good. Good. Hey, guys, picture's fine. So you're probably 720p. Oh, yeah. So it's not the sharpest picture, but it's the best we can pull off at the moment. All right. We don't really have all that much to say, and other than going from some questions that I'm sure that some of you might have about our travels. Oh, so it's raining a lot in Auckland. Apparently heavy rain again in Hawke's Bay. I've been a bit worried about. It took probably 6 days to hear from Dad. Maybe 7 days in Tolaga Bay. Completely blocked off with no power, no cell phone reception. Currently West Arm, Lake Manapudi. Oh, yeah. But probably pretty cold down there too then, eh? Waiting for some nice sunny, warm days again. Man, you kids have been quiet. The first time you've been quiet all day. Kia ora.
This is right on the end of dinner rush and showers rush.
Literally, Toby was getting out of the shower at 7:28.
and trying to find a sock.
There's snow. Yeah, I saw your post, Marcel, about snow on the mountains in Kaikoura. Yeah, there's snow on the hills. We can't see the snow where we are, but
we can feel it.
Yeah. Do you do homeschooling? Do your kids do homeschooling?
No.
What do you do? Nothing.
Online school.
Huh?
It's online school, not homeschooling.
Yeah, but you do it at home?
Yeah.
So that's what homeschooling is, doing school at home.
Dad, I know what homeschooling is.
Oh, sorry. Kids Jacob says hi. He's watching the rugby with Dad. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, the kids are doing homeschooling through Te Kura. They've been doing actually quite a lot the last few days, eh? Asa?
Yeah, it's been a bit wet the last few days, so they've been pumping some work out.
They actually like doing the schoolwork too. You, Toby, you've been doing some cool schoolwork the last few days, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
So they just pretty much are submitting their schoolwork and sending it off to their teacher online. I don't know, what's your teacher's name? Brianna. So they send their schoolwork to Brianna, who marks it and sends it back to them. Or marks it and writes you a comment about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like doing homeschool, Riley?
Yeah.
Do you, Toby?
Yeah.
What about you, Jade? Do you like it? You can be honest. You're allowed to be honest.
Yes, I like it.
I think.
But school, I think is better. But it's still good.
Jade will take friends over anything any day, eh, girl?
Mm-hmm.
I think it is different from homeschooling, even though we are doing it in the home. Because people that organise homeschooling and organise the curriculum and organise everything else with Te Kura, we just let the teacher organise everything and support whatever that might be. So I feel like there's a lot less work on our end, respect to those that do all that homeschooling work.
Where are we at the moment? We are currently in Dunedin. We have like fast-tracked our way down the coast. We were in, we did Kaikoura, Hamner Springs, which you would have just, if you just watched that video, which we just put out at 7. And then we spent a few days in Christchurch with my cousin. We had a little bit of a look around there, but we didn't really get the GoPro out because we knew we were kind of rushing our way down. We spent one night at a really cool reserve called Coes Ford Reserve. I'm just making a little short video about that. But then we had a really good friend of ours in Rotorua, Kerry. Her mum passed away in Ashburton. And so we went and spent a few days with some friends from Rotorua in Ashburton. And then we've kind of made our way down towards Dunedin because our big plan is we want to hit the Catlins while it's still summer, because summer is going to leave real quick down there. And I want to go. I've been getting into doing some diving. I got myself a wetsuit, like a pretty cheap wetsuit in Christchurch, and me and Toby, Tobes, we've been going out, And what have we been getting?
Power.
Yeah. Anything else?
Mm-hmm.
What did we get at the last spot we were at? Remember?
Mussels.
Lots of mussels, and what was the other thing?
Cockles.
Thank you. Thanks, Jade. Yeah, and we got mussels and cockles at the last spot. And we're going diving for power. And today we did some fishing. We got a blue cod, but it was pretty cold fishing off at the beach down here in Dunedin. It was about 12 degrees. Coes Ford, Coes Ford is stunning. Yep, we really enjoyed it there. It was really nice, clean water, and we saw lots of trout and even eels, in the river.
Mm-hmm.
Do you plan to do traveling for most of your lives? No, we're kind of like
That would be nice.
we would love to do that. Our kids really do like school, so we're kind of spending as much time over the next 2 years, I guess, traveling as we can. So that way, we can make some cool memories. But our kids, especially Jade, you really like school, So Jade would love to go and do. So I guess we want them to be in high school for school. Maybe not so much for the academic stuff, but for the social aspect and for some of the extracurricular stuff, like being involved in sports teams and some of the more niche-y kind of things that are offered in high school, which is good. Our kids love watching your adventures. We are homeschooled as well. We've never thought of ourselves as homeschoolers, We've always worked with young people, though. But
I don't think I could do it. I don't think I have.
We've always worked with young people.
That skill set.
Yeah, school's a bit of a different thing. So our plan is to travel. If we can travel all of this year and all of next year, that would be the ultimate for me. For me, it'd be the ultimate. And that way we would be starting the next school year, and Jade would be in year 9, and everyone would kind of start in this new school year. But we do not have the money to do that.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks for that vote of confidence.
But we would need to. We're going to have to pick up some work. We might try and pick up a bit of work over winter when we've kind of had enough of the cold and want to park somewhere with some power and be able to plug in and maybe earn a few dollars and wait for the weather to warm up a bit again. You'll definitely need the wetsuit down there. It's actually, the water down here is 18 degrees, so it's not actually too bad, 18 degrees.
I think it's more the air temperature.
Yeah, when we were in Mahia in November, the water temperature was 14 degrees. So that was pretty cold. I remember hopping in there going, oh my gosh, that's freezing. Hey, Jade. It was pretty hard to motivate Jade to get in there with the surfboard because it was so cold.
Hey, I did get in.
After lots of encouragement from Dad.
Sure.
Warm water.
Northland Leopards. Hey, Jared. Oh, is this Jared Ford? This is the Jared Ford that did Camp America tour and you went to Canada. Are you back? Is that the same person? Or is that a different person? Hey, Cam from Chill Adventures. Chill Adventures guy, Cam, he lives in America in Michigan and he goes surfing out on the lake. So I didn't realize this, but Lake Michigan is so big that you can sail out 20 miles on a boat or get out on a boat 20 miles and you still need, and then you cannot see land. And you need to go another 40 miles till you can start to see the other side. And then it's 20 miles to the other side. That's how big that lake is. So it gets big waves. And Cam goes surfing out on Lake Michigan and vlogs his kind of van life stuff too, living with his 2 dogs on the road.
I'm just reading Shannon's comment. Red Road Adventures. I can't believe we were with them for one of our like hottest weekends, and then I think the following week we were heading into some. I mean, clearly it's not going to be the coldest we're going to have in the South Island, but yeah, we
so
felt the
far.
chill. we're starting to
So
feel the
far.
chill, and this was always the thing I was scared of coming to the South Island. I'm such a cold wuss.
Mm.
Will we ever live overseas or stay in New Zealand?
New Zealand, Aotearoa.
I would go overseas for the right opportunity. I think the biggest thing for us is because we don't have like heaps of money or anything, but the traveling, right? It costs a lot to travel. It costs a lot to fly to another country. So if that barrier was removed for the right kind of income, then you can come home and see family and friends. We're like living in Rotorua, where we've lived for the last 12 or 13 years. Everyone's been quite far away anyway. Like some family, we only see once a year.
Mm. I like New Zealand.
Mm.
It's really cool to go to places overseas. I don't think I could live that far away. How about you kids? Do you think you could live in another country?
No, but it's cool to visit. Like we went.
What about you, Toby?
I would go to a different country and come back.
Oh yeah, good plan.
Like what we did in America.
Mhm.
How about you, Riley?
Hmm?
Would you live in another country or here?
Here.
Yeah. What do you like about here?
Everything.
Everything. That's a good response.
Jared, Sport 100, the little leopards are definitely building their fitness base. You guys, are you getting fitter?
I don't know.
Man, some days are pretty low key in the caravan, to be honest.
Yep.
Yeah. What was the day it was raining? Was it at Warrington Reserve? I think.
Yes.
Man,
We did.
Yeah.
the kids might have walked 500 meters that day. They did a lot of schoolwork though.
Oh, but we've had some pretty up there days as well. So
Today was.
Jade doing Mount Fife. Toby's always a
Hey,
go.
Chelsea.
He's always asking for a go for a walk, hey buddy.
Yep.
Toby and I went and found a waterfall yesterday when we got here.
Cam, how warm does it get out in Lake Michigan in the summertime? How warm does the lake warm up to? Best kinner spot is definitely Chatham Islands. I don't think I'm into kinner. I tried some kinner with Garth.
Oh, controversial, Mike.
I tried some kinner. No, well, I'm just saying for me, if I tried some kinner with Garth and I wasn't, I don't think I can do it. It's a bit salty. But the power though, that's real good. It was 30 degrees 2 days ago. It's 13 today. Yeah, it was a little bit warmer down here. I think it got up to about 16. We did a drive out to Adamoana today, kind of like right out to the peninsula, to the kind of the coast from Dunedin, and it was 11 when we got there, but I think it warmed up to like 16.
It had to live.
Well, Williamstown, do you have a plan or are you just winging it? Also, what side do you plan on being on in winter?
Our plan was always get to the South Island, and we got here. We wanted to rush ahead to the Catlins because we don't want to be smashed by southerlies by being here in the winter.
I'm supposed to get Toby.
Some scandalous stuff happening here. But we plan to be down here until mid-December. So once we get through the Catlins, we'll probably at some point in the year revisit some of the places we skipped past. And our plan is to get back to the North Island for Christmas with my family. And then after that, I don't know. I'd love to get back up Northland, one of my favourite spots. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Did you say what?
We'll see what resources we have.
Did you say what our current plans are?
Catlins.
Yeah, so heading to the Catlins, we want to do Otago for autumn. I'm really keen to head up to like Glenorchy and around in that area, up the top of Lake Wakatipu. We also want to do like Te Anau and like the Eglinton Valley. There's a whole lot of dock camping up there. We were up there in July and it was super cold, but real beautiful.
What?
Toby.
Has he been a dork?
Funny. I always wanted to do Central Otago with the autumn colours. So that's a big part of the plan.
Hey, John, have you got your caravan yet, mate? Man, we've been talking about that for a long time, eh? Brian, hey, Brian and Anna, from Calder. It was lovely to meet you guys here yesterday. Where did
Are you guys still here?
No, they're not. Where did you end up parking up for the night? New Zealand is the dream for sure. Chill adventures. Oh, that is pretty nice over here. We definitely
You're
have
welcome,
our
Cam. You can come
definitely
here.
have our issues. We've had some massive flooding in New Zealand. We feel like we've really escaped it, eh? So from all the North Island, the bad weather, we kind of suffered through some bad storms pre-Christmas, but they've got a lot even worse as the summer's gone on. Are you planning much around the Southland Fiordland area? Oh, yeah, we just kind of said that. Yeah, we want to do Te Anau, Eglinton Valley. Maybe if we get enough time to head up the Eglinton. Oh, not the Eglinton, up the Hollyford Valley. So that's off the.
So you can see his name written there.
Head up the Hollyford
He wants
Valley.
to know what it says.
I told him what it says.
Where does it say his name? On someone's question. We see you, Toby. Got eyes on you.
Toby was doing this.
It's hot.
We did Milford Sound. Milford Sound is probably like a bit of a mission to take the caravan into. We did that 2 years ago. And there's not really anything to do unless you're going to do the Great Walk. There are some day walks and the boat cruise, which we won't do the boat cruise because that's just quite a big expense for something we did.
And we did it on the cheap just after COVID. So
yeah,
I think
maybe we can pretend we did and we'll just reuse the old footage.
Dad and I, we have this thing about we need to go and paddleboard out there. So we might go and do a quick day trip up and get some paddling in, Dad?
Yeah, so I know. Right, where are we?
Yeah, so my parents are actually coming to join us. Hopefully, so they were on the booked on the. Anyone that's following ferry crossings would know the Kaitiaki on Inter Islander has been not doing passengers, and they've been booked on that one for this weekend for a long time, watching it, waiting for it to have passengers again.
Do you still want to be here?
They've just changed their crossing, and hopefully will come on a 2 a.m. sailing. That's how keen they are to see us this weekend, and so hopefully we see them about halfway through next week, and then they're going to spend heaps of time with us. So
if anyone has a question for the kids, we're going to let the kids opt out. So if you've got a question for the kids that you want to ask, chuck it down now. So that way they can go and start watching a movie or something, or they can leave us in some peace and quiet. Yeah, I know, but we've got these questions here still. So love the videos and the drone shots, Brian and Anna. Yep. Sometimes drone shots are a little bit controversial. Don't really want to talk about that online. We try and be very sensible with our drone shots, and our drone tells us if we're in an area we're not allowed to fly. So if it says that, then we don't fly it there. Or if there's a sign that says no drones, then we definitely don't fly our drone. If the drone says the area is fine for flying or take off, then we do. But we always keep all the other rules. Are you planning much around? Yeah, answer that one. Close to 75 Fahrenheit. So what's that? That's like, oh, that's warm.
Yeah, that's pretty warm, Cam.
It's like 24 degrees Celsius. That's pretty warm. In Lake Michigan. Are you getting a cray pot? No, not getting cray pot.
Controversial. I don't know if any of us will eat the crays. So we
don't really. Dad's given us a few crayfish. He would often go and throw the crayfish pot off at Tolaga Bay before it's been smashed time and time again with forestry slash, which just wipes the crayfish out after a big storm, and forestry slash goes out under the pier there. There's usually no crayfish left, and it takes a few months for them to come back. Do we still love our caravan?
Yeah.
Do we love our caravan, kids?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It feels
love
better than
our caravan.
Home.
Feels better than a home.
House.
Wow. So
Feels better than a house.
that's Jade's was right there. Feels better than a house.
There you go. We're living in our caravan forever then.
No, we love our caravan. We have run out of power a few times. That's
inverter related.
That's mic related. This computer will not do video editing unless the inverter's running. It will with the battery for a little bit. Battery dies real fast, and then I need to charge it and have the inverter running, which pretty much uses probably 3 or 4 times the amount of battery power. So the times that I do the most editing is when the weather's not that great, and that's when I want to use the most power. So it's kind of a catch-22, really. We woke up this morning and I went to go start heating up the pot or the jug for some coffee, and that was enough to kill the battery. We've got a battery saver thing, so we can drop it down its level so that we can still turn power on. But we want to look after our batteries rather than.
And we kind of want enough power to be running our heater through the night. So
yeah. So last night we ran the heater all night because it was about 8 degrees,
which is very cold for North Island.
It got hotter. We ran out of power yesterday.
We are at Warrington, following your advice as always with places. Oh, cool. I hope that Warrington's it's a good spot.
Hope you've got less rain than we had there.
So delayed with shipping in Oz wide today for Cameron and Anderson. Oh, that's good, John. Neville, just finished watching your latest vid. Oh, great. Oh, gosh, I've skipped the whole lot. I watched the ship dock 3:30 today, staying in the rain for 2 hours, but didn't unload yet. Hopefully 2 weeks-ish. They take a little while to get the
and then, John, you have to come and find us.
New Zealand, Warrington, all that. But and they always, inside at RV, do a pretty good check over of everything before they kind of will give it to you. So hopefully everything's working good. What's the best places you've been in New Zealand? Ooh, do you kids want to answer that one?
The top of the top.
Taputu Bay, right below Cape Reinga. Yeah. What about you, Toby? What's one of your favourites?
White's Bay.
White's Bay was definitely a hit. What a great welcome to the South Island.
Ward was cool. I like Kaikoura and Kaikoura. Yeah, I like White's Bay too.
It's always the recent ones, with the kids. What about you, Saf?
Oh, man. We arrived in Kaikoura and we were like, oh, we could live here.
Yeah, I love Kaikoura.
It was beautiful.
It's just a down to earth, simple life.
I think just also there was quite a lot to do there. Like I went biking several times. I biked the 43 k's through the trail that was recommended, I think, by a few people. Probably so. It was only my first week back on the bike. But like we were in the water. I just love the dramatic mountains to the sea. Yeah. I think though we were there in good weather. It's probably really different when it's not good weather.
Yeah.
Then I might be like, no,
I feel like that's anywhere though. When it's bad weather anywhere, it's not very
That's true.
fun.
We lived in Rotorua for 12 years and I love Rotorua. And one of the first times Mike and I went there together before we lived there, I made him promise that we'd never live there because it was so cold.
I have a lot of favourite places. Like just thinking about the Coromandel, I love it. I love it at Waikawa Bay, right at the top. That is an awesome spot. I loved Kaiawa out east coast by Tolaga Bay, that right on the beachfront there. It was real quiet there.
Another one.
That was a great spot.
Waikawa Bay.
That's what I just said, Jade.
Yeah, but I liked it too.
Yeah, Waikawa Bay. I love Taputu Bay, right below Cape Reinga. That's beautiful there too. Matodi Bay in the far north, that's really good. That's just kind of east of Kirikiri. I love White's Bay. Kaikoura, yeah, great spots.
What's some of the places you don't like, Mike? Because you've lost it like a lot.
I know. Well, I guess there are some spots that you're like, oh, it's a bit average. Sometimes that can be because of the weather too, though.
It's totally weather
and
related.
Sometimes it can also be like it's just there's no rubbish bins, there's no recycling. That's one of the things that's a little bit hard. Sometimes we'll go somewhere and there's nowhere to recycle. And so, like, if we make a vegetarian nachos or something like that, we'll put like 7 or 8 cans in there. So then we're carrying around 7 or 8 cans from one meal. Plus, like, when you're a family of 5, you got to store all that stuff still, like, back in the back of the truck or in a bucket or something. And sometimes it's like 8, 9, 10 days worth of recycling that you're looking for a recycle centre and there just isn't one.
Do you want to have a quick look and see if there's any more kid questions?
I
might
saw
be still
one.
doing
Because I think some of these legs want to wriggle.
I saw one.
Did you? Where?
There's happy birthday, belated birthday, Jade from the Galapagos.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
Who wakes up first and annoys everyone?
Riley! Me and Riley wake up at the same time.
Wait,
But I read in bed.
noisy.
But Riley and Toby get.
I'll tell you who gets the most annoyed first thing in the morning is this one. He complains that we put the jug on. He complains that someone opens the front door. He complains.
Toby wants to sleep all
He
day.
complains that someone's eating breakfast. Hey, Toby likes to sleep in, so that's for sure.
Tracy asked, my kids want to know if they love the bunk still. You still love your bunk beds?
Yes.
Yeah, any
That's
time
great.
we're staying with other people and there's an offer
Actually,
to
yeah.
stay in the house,
No, bunks are better.
the kids prefer going to the bunks, especially Toby.
Someone asked my
So maybe we'll stay living in the caravan forever.
my daughter was wondering if you have pen pals. So,
No, but we are.
Oh, do you want to say that?
What's pen?
We might be doing some letter writing.
no, they
We
have
need to
some
find
friends
some,
on pretty much from COVID, just their cousins and a few like close friends from over the
We
years
need to
that
find
they
some
We just
keep in contact with.
envelope.
we mostly use Messenger Kids for that.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, staying in touch with people. Eh?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Do you kids want to stay or do you want to go? You
Yeah.
can go and hop on Mum and Dad's.
I
if you want and
bet
watch a
Riley
video.
and Toby want to go and Jade wants to stay. That's what I think. Am I right?
All right, I'll move out so you can. So push the button.
Bye. What to do when if we leave? What do we
See ya.
do?
Don't forget your toilet paper.
That's not how you say it. You say see you
All right, do you
later.
want to
alligator.
You get a laptop. Yeah, just gonna be a bit clearer.
I'll get
Okay, I'm
mine.
gonna stay till Dad's.
What? You're leaving me with the computer here, Jade?
I'll do it.
Guys, I got my computer.
Hold on.
Oh, do this.
Mike does not do drone fishing because he's had issues with his fishing drone.
Hello. See ya.
It's not connecting to the controller, and I think he's
Hey, go back. I
not wanting
wanted
to
to
spend
read
money on
something.
it.
Well, I haven't been able to get in contact with them.
He's
You're way over where we were.
I'm getting it.
hold on.
Turn on. No, it better not come without.
Oh, Cam wants your
Riley,
best
Riley.
best American.
What?
Cam, I hope you heard Toby's dear Darla in
Watch
the
the
last
Putta
video.
Putta Umu video when you hear it.
So, American accents with these kids is somewhat
Watch the
controversial now
American
that they realise they
videos.
used to have one.
Watch the American videos. and
Right, who can do
Riley
their best
does it
accents for Cam?
Jade. Riley.
Dear
Riley.
Darla.
Toby.
Riley.
We might just have to flick you a video when they're not paying attention, Cam.
Riley
Are you
girl.
staying, Jade?
I don't know.
If you're staying, you're stuck.
Okay, I'm staying. You guys can watch what these.
All right. So what are we up to here?
I called it. I called it. Those two want to go. She wants to stay.
Where it's good for wintering in a caravan full time. So from what I've seen on other people online, if you want to winter over and like be packed up, I think Kaitiri in the Marlborough area or Nelson area, they have a pretty good rate for a week. I think it's like $112 or something for a week to pack up with power, and you can use the bathrooms. And I think you can plug your tap straight in to your caravan as well. So that's a good spot to winter over. We are not planning to winter over though. We are planning to keep traveling. We kind of only have this window of time to do it. So we're not planning to pack up for the winter. We might try and pack up for 3 or 4 weeks and get some work once we've had a guts full of winter and we keep going flat on our batteries and our bank account is looking a bit bare and we want to start looking at our budget going, because it would be nice for it to go finish this summer, winter, spring, the next summer at the least. This is what I want to do for traveling.
Yeah, we kind of feel like the South Island is so big and we're only here until the middle of December. We really want to kind of maximize that time and keep going. Ask us again in the winter because, like
It's
I said,
February.
I'm a wuss and we're already cold in February.
So how do the kids do their schooling? Takuta? Yep, they do Takuta, Do they do their work daily? No, they don't do their
No.
work daily.
We do heaps on a rainy day, and we try to fit some in
Yeah.
other days.
So they've done none today. Today we got up earlier than we normally do, and we went out to Aramoana, and we pretty much spent the whole day there, which was real cool. We saw sea lions.
Seals.
We even saw a penguin swimming in the water. We did some fishing. So no one's done any schoolwork today. But the kids are real. I guess what's easy for us is they're motivated to do the schoolwork. Sometimes I'll just say, "Can I do some schoolwork?" Sure.
Their teacher's really
yourself.
cool. She's like, I'll say, "Oh, we're doing this on such and such a day, so they won't be yet online or whatever." And she's like, "Oh, that's so exciting!" And she'll talk to them about how exciting the thing they're gonna do is.
Like when we went to Hannah Springs.
Yeah, and and then she'll be like, just write something about it, like do some handwriting about it, and flick that through, and that's cool. I guess that's. I wonder when we're a little bit more into it, might do a little bit of a video on how Te Kura works for us.
Yeah.
And hopefully kind of answer, because that's often everyone's first question. Oh, kids aren't in school. What are they doing? Are you homeschooling?
Yeah.
So I guess our experience of Te Kura has been really cool. But yeah, I guess that's down to the teacher that we have as well.
I think there's often a lot of explanation, like they'll get their schoolwork and then we'll explain it to them, and then they'll kind of be able to head off and go and continue doing it. Soph does way more of it than me.
Some of it's written out really confusing. So
yeah, and sometimes
they don't quite understand what they're supposed to do.
But sometimes.
Look, even Cam wants to hear the kids' best American accents. Go, Jade. It's up to you.
They were all fighting over that before.
Jade.
I said we'll have to flick a thing through, or you just have to draw.
We play 5 crowns now after you recommended it. So we play 5 crowns with Soph's parents.
Yeah, so probably by this time next week we'll probably be a few games
hanging out for them to bring 5 crowns down. We do have a second battery, Shannon, but having the inverter on just turns the 12-volt batteries into 240 volt. It's constantly making it. As soon as the inverter's on, it's making 240 volts of electricity, even if you're not using it. So it just draws the batteries down quite quickly. So yes, that's how we have an inverter. That's what our inverter does. So that way I can use this laptop. We did get a small inverter that could plug into one of the cigarette sockets, like the cigarette battery socket things. And that just wasn't enough power. I'd plug it in and it would start going. It just couldn't handle the amount of current required to run the software. So that's why we've got a bit of a gruntier one. Have to move to Hormasa, and I have both found work now. Ooh. What kind of jobs have you guys got? Mark Jones message retracted. Jared put Kelly's Bay and Northland's West Coast on the list. Leopards. Coromandel is gorgeous, yeah.
Kelly's
Jordan
Bay,
from
okay.
Carpenter, do you guys have a timeline for your year planned, or is the plan just to wing it around and go with the flow? We've got like a rough plan. We're going to the Catlins next because we want to do that before summer ends. We'll go do like the southern coast. We want to go all the way around the bottom of the southern coast as far as we can. And then we'll head up to like Manapudi, Tianau, the Eglinton Valley. We want to hit Mavora Lakes. We want to head right up into Glenorchy. We kind of avoid the cities generally. We kind of just go to the city or to town to stock up on groceries and anything that we might need. And then we like going out to the more remote places. So we've got a rough plan out. We also want to do the West Coast in the winter. And our reason for doing the West Coast in the winter is there's a lot of good walks to do in the West Coast. And there's a lot less bugs around. And generally, the weather's actually more settled in the winter, although the West Coast have had an awesome summer this year. It's been real calm.
They did have that one storm.
We've had a couple of like things, but it's pretty way less than normal.
The Hokitika sign's gone.
Yep, see you later, mate. KJ.
No, they're saying that to Toby, because Toby was like...
never forget the toilet paper. Yeah.
That was Toby's.
Toby's accent doing the sculpture walk was pretty good. Oh, dear darling. Yeah, he did that real good. Watching from Australia, traveling around South Island in August. Ooh.
I'm watching.
Are you?
I'm watching.
They're watching.
Dear Darla.
They're watching Darla and alfalfa right now. Yep. So if you're coming, whereabouts in Australia are you from, Carla? Because it does get pretty cold down here. We did our trip
July.
July 3 years ago, or almost 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years in July.
It was beautiful.
I think pretty much
great
after
weather.
the third day, it never really got above 7 degrees Celsius. It was pretty much, that was, I think
So
Wanaka
worth it. It was great.
Wanaka was a high of 5 when we were there, but it was
lots of
beautiful
fun.
blue and sunny. It was real nice.
It made us want to come back for a year.
Yeah. I was like, winter in South Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
honestly,
cool, Sarah.
yeah, Carla, just let us know if you want to meet up with us. Come find us because, you can come camp with us. It's fine. I'm cleaning and teaching a bit of guitar. He's working at a pizza place. Marcel. That'll be cool. What's your favourite thing to do on a rainy day? I video edit. The kids do schoolwork.
Read books.
Soph reads. She helps the kids with school.
Still trying to get out for a
Yeah,
walk.
I was going to say, we generally try and still get out and do something.
Still try and get out and, do something now outside. Get some energy out.
I think chosen. Southland weather's pretty settled too over the winter. It's usually those off seasons, like the spring and the autumn, that are sometimes the worst.
Spring can be quite wet.
Doing Takuta video based on your experience, where's just starting on the road full time and starting Takuta? Yeah, it's we've heard lots of mixed reviews, about Takuta. Some people have said that it sounded really full on and they didn't want to.
Bit too structured.
And they didn't. They've
And
having to sit
hasn't
and work
been
every
our
day.
experience, I suppose.
Yeah, they do have different teachers around the country. The teacher we've got's been real flexible. I think the requirement minimum is to submit one piece of schoolwork a month.
Yeah, I mean, of course, they want you to do more than that. That's what you have to do to stay enrolled. We want our kids to do more than that because we don't want them to
struggle when they go to school.
Yeah, struggle when they hop back into mainstream. But yeah, no, we'll make sure we've got our heads around it first, and then we might do a video on it.
Yeah, we've found that often around New Zealand, the weather in the morning is a lot more settled, and so getting to the beach before lunchtime is generally works to our favour because by 1 o'clock or even lunchtime, sometimes the wind picks up, and then being at the beach is not very nice. So we'd rather go and do something fun in the morning, come back to the caravan, have lunch, and then kind of have a bit more structured around school if that's if they kind of need to get a bit of work done. Because otherwise, we'll get them to do schoolwork, and then we'll go off to the beach, and then it's windy, and then no one has a good time. And this is, I guess, a big part of this trip is about having a good time. Yeah. And
I think I see your comment about that it's tricky about the balance, and I don't know how to get the balance right because often the balance is weather dependent and we're in this cool place, we're going to do this thing dependent, and
sometimes it's just jobs to do, we need to get this done and that done and that done. Mum and Dad just don't have the time to sit there and help you with schoolwork. We're doing other things right now.
Toby needs quite a lot of support because the girls can read a lot of the instructions and kind of come if they need help, and so often they're quite happy to kind of potter away at whatever they're doing. But if Toby's doing something, he kind of needs one of us to be there supporting whatever he's doing, and so I don't know if we'll ever crack the balance, but
we're being flexible.
And I guess some of it's just about being kind to yourself and to them about what your expectations are on the day.
You've been before on the winter diet, so you know all about it. What have you guys got for heating in the van? We've got a diesel heater. I don't even know what the brand of it is.
So last night I was like, I need to figure out how this heater works because we always just switch it on, switch it off. But I'm like, now we need to know how to work it properly.
We found out from Ruben, who works inside our RV, that it has a thermostat.
I was like, there must be a thermostat setting, and we've never been cold enough to figure it out, to be motivated to figure it out.
It would turn on and start heating, and then next time we're too hot.
So we just turn it off, and then we're fine.
And then we'll turn it off, and then half an hour later we're getting cold again. Then we turn it back on.
So last night I was like, I need to work this out. Got the manual, worked it out. It's great. Great heater.
Yep. See you, Sarah. Get the kids back to track bed.
Oh, I feel sorry for your neighbours, Sarah. All that noise.
Do you know your caravan weights, John? Yeah. So our caravan is 2,770 kilos empty. We have kept it pretty light inside. There's a lot of things we haven't brought. Like we don't have bikes, everyone. Just Soph's got a bike that lives in the back of the truck. But otherwise, we've kept everything pretty light. So when we fill up with water, I reckon we'd be towing, if we were fully loaded with water, we'd probably be sitting at around 350 ton. So 3 ton, 350 kilos would be my guess. Maybe a little bit more than that. But we try and tow around with no water, and we try and just fill up with water when we get to the last closest tap, if there's not a tap where we're going. You guys feel famous.
No.
You guys got the yeah. We're famous as Cam. We've got you watching us all the way from Michigan. The famous Day Breeze. Do you know your caravan? Hi, Darford. If I buy first caravan, then what one is a good one? Not a bot. No, I think there's lots of good ones out there. We're pretty happy with ours. When we were looking to buy, though, we wanted something that was not going to frustrate us. And I guess what were our non-negotiables? We
don't want to make beds.
No, everyone had to have their own bed because that was going to be like our. Oh, look, there you go, Darford. Gave us a.
Thanks, Darford. That's my next coffee right there. My next coffee. When was the last one? Who knows?
Yeah, so everyone had their own bed because we knew that when we had multiple rainy days, that bed space was going to be like important for people to be able to go there. And often the kids will do it. They'll go up on their bed, shut their curtain, and just that's their own little space that everyone's got it. And like Jade and Riley often go down to our room in the morning if they're doing school and lie on our bed. I'll sit here and video edit, and Toby will be somewhere.
I'll go on a bike ride.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah. We haven't. I think something that we thought, well, I don't know, we might have been a bit worried about doing caravanning was kind of like just bumping into each other in a small space. And most of the time we don't. It's actually really, like, I love this layout. I feel like sometimes it can get a bit busy through this one bit right here.
Even right now, we're sitting here doing this, and the kids are behind that door right there watching a video. And that's why we really like this layout, because they're closed off doing their thing and we can do our thing. Or vice versa. Yeah. They're learning so much while on the road. Don't stress. Oh, we don't stress. It's basically unschooling learning through experience. Yeah, younger ones need a lot of support. I'm of 6 here, homeschooling all 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. They
always appreciate that encouragement.
Yeah, like Toby is still learning to read. Like he is on his way to 7.5, and he's still like a beginner reader.
Yeah.
And,
I'm not worried.
So sometimes I'm a bit like, he should be way ahead of this, but
I'm not worried about it.
He's probably a little bit like me. I was a bit delayed. I feel like if I started school a year later, I would have probably done a lot better at school.
The cool thing is, like, now he's really motivated about reading, and he gets why it's good to read, and he asks to read, and I feel like that's the wave you want to catch, right? You know, like, instead of forcing it on him when he was like meh, like catching him when he's like, Mum, can we read some of my books?
Read a book?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. You
can read away. And I'm looking forward to Mum and Dad coming down next week because they can also listen to us reading. Change up the adults a bit.
You're pretty good with a guitar in hand. Next live stream, you need to break it up. Well, why do we need to wait for the next one, Shannon? My guitar's literally just here. No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, it was great. Shannon was having your video and getting Mike like caught, not ready to be on camera.
Yeah. But I don't
care. On his
care.
phone, sitting there with a big yawn.
Sophie's like, Mike, now it's your turn to get caught on camera when you're not ready for it. And I'm like,
because I'm always like looking stern in the background, like, put your shoes on or whatever.
Correcting the children. Yeah, it is a great layout, Neville. Lately, my cheap morning coffee has been upgraded with condensed milk. After watching travel vlogs in Asia, it took me years and years to get interested. Sophie loves black coffee, so we just always get it. We've pretty much resigned to the fact of just getting Jeds now. It's usually one of the cheaper ones at Pack and Save. We both like it, and I always
put it in the plunger.
I always put Vienna. What is it? Vienna. It's the cinnamon flavored Jara. I always put that into my coffee.
I'm a purist.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
black.
not. Yeah, I've
Black
got
and
that in it. Bit of cinnamon taste in it. Yeah, nah, don't worry about it. Man, that's so Kiwi. Yeah, nah, don't worry about it. When he's ready, he will fly. Yeah.
Yeah.
He will enjoy it more. How do you handle the long driving hours? Are there days you just want to pack up a day?
We kind of want a long day in the car for us to be max 2 hours. I guess part of that is we don't want to rush through the places that we're going, even though we kind of rush down the East Coast. And then also, being in the car for ages sucks when there's like 5 of you. So
we haven't rushed at all though. We've only done very short drives. I think for our budget, like thinking about how much money we've been spending, we've actually spent way less on diesel, maybe half on diesel than we kind of anticipated. We were thinking we were going to spend about $150 a week on diesel, and I'd say, yeah, we're definitely not.
We've kind of only been moving like 2, not quite 3 times a week.
Like one week we
And
just
not
went
far.
from Whites Bay to Blenheim to Marfell's Beach. It was only like 40k.
I think another thing though is diesel prices dropped since we budgeted, and then groceries have gone up since we budgeted. So that's the flip side of our budget story.
Yeah. And I think food is more expensive in the South Island than the North Island. Although I haven't brought groceries in the North Island for a couple of months now, but we noticed it straight away from leaving like Parapara Umu. We went and stocked up at Pack and Save there, and just getting like the salad bags work really good in our fridge because they just the food stays fresh in them for quite a long time, like usually over a week. And so we got a few of those, and I remember buying them, and they were about $4.50. I remember getting a coleslaw. It was like $3.80. And as soon as we got to the Pack and Save in Blenheim, none of them were under $6. All of them were over $6, which was like, ooh, where's the cheaper vegetables? And then the meat was the same. Yeah, it's a lot more expensive in the South Island. Using yeah, that's good. Ari, the diesel, yeah, and also the diesel. Like we got them on the NZMCA. We use the McEwen card, which is it's only I think it's like an unmanned gas station down here in the South Island, McEwen, but they've partnered up with Caltex and Z, and if you fill up at their truck stops, it's a really good rate. I think we're paying, I don't know what it is this week. Last week was $1.87, $1.87 a litre, and I think this week it might be even cheaper. So that's a massive saving from what you pay at the pump, $1.87. So as long as you go to the truck stop, you just swipe it, then it just direct debits us. So I think in January, our January diesel bill was only $240 for the month. It's pretty good. Sorry, Tim was a bit late. Oh, Wanganui's turned up for this live hospital wanting not the best. I'll have to watch it when I get home. All right, well, if you've got any questions, now's a good time to answer them.
Any advice? Asking. Oh, man.
I was just starting out on full-time role with the kids. Lessons, learn tips and tricks of things you would be different or the same.
I think talking to them about where we're going, what we're doing, especially Toby, because he's 7, so he just kind of floats through life, and sometimes we kind of need to fill him in on what's happening, where we're going and what's up. But asking them what things they'd like to do and the places that we stop. Like today, the kids were begging to go to Baldwin Street, so we did, and that was
the steepest street in the world.
So I guess that's it, kind of like just bringing them into
our planning,
the conversation, the planning. Here's what we're doing. What is it that you want to do? Toby's always up for a walk or an adventure. Jade, Riley, they're full of fun ideas. So kind of bringing them into those conversations instead of kind of
think it's good as well to have a rough plan. You don't want to be too detailed. So for us, like we want to hit the Catlins before summer ends. We're planning Otago for autumn. We're going to do the West Coast in the winter. Because you meet a lot of people on the road and you talk to people and you get lots of good ideas of places to camp and stay that weren't even on the register. And then you go there and you go, oh, this is so cool. So not being too structured, I think, can sometimes be a bit of a hindrance as a
and it gives
bit
you
of a tip or a trick.
Like, why not stay another night? Like if you feel like you're keeping to a schedule, you're kind of like, oh man, we have to go for whatever reason. Whereas giving yourself that flexibility, you're kind of like, no, it actually works for everyone that we stay one more night, or we could probably pull off a pack up and relocate maybe within the next hour and a half. Let's do that because it's good.
We did that yesterday.
We're like, nah, let's just go to Dunedin now. And we did. Within an hour, we're on the truck heading to Dunedin. So, giving yourself that flexibility. Stuff not to do with the kids. I don't know.
No,
I'll have a think about it. Maybe
I feel like it's just normal life, like normal family life with the kids.
I love the age that our kids are at. I love how fun they are on the adventures that we do. They're like, they can keep up, they can enjoy, they can kind of like get through the stink things like bugs or cold because they know what we're doing is cool. I love that. And also they're young enough to still think that we're cool. So it makes like, I feel like this is a perfect time for us to be traveling with our kids. And so I think that's a big thing, is just enjoying them where they're at.
Toby's really loved like coming along with Dad the last few weeks.
He's like a little buddy.
Yeah,
a little
like
fishing
way more than normal. And so I think diving has been a real big part of it for me, because I'm a bit scared of going out in the deep water. So being able to get out and going diving was actually a bit of a freak out, because when you can't touch the bottom and you're not by the shore, that can be a little bit scary. But Toby, man, he is out there on his boogie board, like way out past me, like, Toby, come back. But he's totally into it too. And we were like getting some paras diving down, and I'd given them to him, and he was like sticking them to his boogie board, and they were stuck on there. And it's just real cool. So sometimes just doing some things that are a bit different as well, trying new things is important. It's super cheap. So totally worth getting the membership. Yeah, it's definitely worth getting the membership. I see some people rant and rave sometimes about the NZMCA. We've stayed at some really cool parkover properties, which is, if you're not sure, it's just private property that other NZMCA members have, and they let you come and camp, often for free, or it might be $5 a night or $10 a night. Some of them have even put their own bathrooms in so that people can use the bath, like have a long shower and use the toilet. So some of the parkover properties are amazing. So just having that is really good. We're planning to leave from here to probably move to a parkover property towards the Catlins. So it's definitely a really good part of being in the NZMCA.
Some people, we've come across most people we come across use Wireless Nation, a few Starlinks. I think the thing with Starlink is your fork out the money at the beginning.
You don't need an excuse. You're going to a beer festival anyway. I saw your comment on our last video. You were just I was at the beer festival. I had no data. I don't think you can beat Starlink, but it's definitely a little bit more expensive. But it does rely on satellite. I guess, seeing all my family have no power and no internet. The good thing for us, well, we wouldn't have had internet if we were in Napier, but we would have had power. Is that you can have reception pretty much wherever you are, and you can move if you need it.
I guess the cell towers were
the cell towers, right? So. Exactly. Yeah, you had power, but no cell signal.
No, I mean our internet works most. I guess we don't like if we don't have internet, we don't have internet. We're like, oh well.
Yeah, because it's usually only a few days or a couple of days.
We'll have internet back in a few days, maybe. I guess if we were dependent on internet, like for an income, or if our teacher was a bit more strict, that might be something.
Yeah, you just have to be a bit more organised about where you went and when.
And I just usually flick the teacher text and say, I think we're heading somewhere with that reception.
We're going to Yeah, are we going Tunnel Beach?
Yes, we are keen to hit Tunnel Beach. At the moment, I think the tide is low late in the afternoon, mid-afternoon, so maybe tomorrow. Maybe we'll get there tomorrow. Are we going to Akaroa?
We've skipped it already.
We've skipped it, but we might end up back in Christchurch at some point, so...
I have some family there, and Christchurch is a good spot to maybe pick up some work over the winter. There's also some really good freedom camping sites around there. So who knows? I think that's
if we go to
maybe our
Akaroa,
plan.
it's not with the caravan. It'll be a day
Our
trip.
plan could be like the West Coast, come back through the Lewis Pass, back into Canterbury, and maybe pick up some work over the winter and around that Christchurch area. And then maybe we can trip over to Akaroa. I don't think I'd take the caravan down there. Massive hill descent. Although I think we'd be alright, but just heavy wear and tear on the gear.
That's a cool comment from Jared. Flexibility, 100%. We certainly have some absolutely glorious hidden gems in New Zealand. I was always my dad's best mate, and it was an incredible journey. Yeah, agree, Jared. That's cool.
You know what's well worth belong to the NZMCA. Yeah, everything's got its, I don't know, rotten eggs, eh? I saw on Bus Life NZ, he had a bit of a run-in with a NZMCA member at a park over property.
You can have a run-in with someone anyway.
Yeah,
anyway.
Doesn't matter where you are, something can go wrong.
So, do you pay per person or per vehicle? It varies. So we always look up on the app because if it's per person, man, it gets expensive for 5 of us. Per van is great because it's one van, 5 people. Yeah. So we kind of so for an NZMCA park, that's $10. For us to stay at a park over property, would be hesitant to pay more than $15 a night, eh? Just gets expensive really quickly.
There's so many options that are just for free. So why do you want to pay more than $15 to park somewhere night? So NZMCAs are like, once we've done 3 or 4 nights, it's costing us $30, $40.
Yeah.
Out of our savings, just to
often the good thing about being at these ones is like easy location to visit some spaces or whatever.
Like in Dunedin, there's not really anywhere we could freedom camp. So this is pretty much our only cheap option is to be in Dunedin.
And this is a tight park.
And it's completely
it says
full.
30 vehicles, but once it gets up towards 20, man, you see people come in and then go back out again.
People are parking in the middle because there's no other areas to park.
Yeah, so we're stoked. We've got a spot in here. Because I don't know we would go otherwise.
And the Warriors going to make the top 8 this year, so.
Absolutely, this is the Warriors year. Here we go. First year back in the country for the whole season. Man.
All right, we've got any other questions out there? This has been like we haven't done a live stream since we hit 1,000 subscribers. How has the solar you have handled its ownership as well as the water and grey water as well as the
maybe solar? Well, we did have some inverter related issues.
Well, we're just using a lot of battery. Whenever we turn our inverter on, which gives us 240 volt power, like standard house power, that just drains our batteries pretty quickly. And so if we have a rainy day, which we had the other day, we had the inverter on a lot during the day, most of the day. And so then our batteries go down low, and then to get them charged back up, we kind of need full sun for like a few hours. And if you have another cloudy day, then you just can't kind of get them charged back up. We do have the Anderson plug on the truck though, so we did plug that in just to see if that would top it up a bit, and it did.
It does.
So we just can plug a little plug into the back of the truck, and the truck works as a generator, and that kind of charges up our caravan batteries, which makes a massive difference. But then it just means like the only times we've done that are when we've been in a campground and it's dark and it's late at night and you're not really supposed to have generators running, and we're sitting there with our truck running. And the annoying thing with the truck is because it's got like safety features, the lights turn on and you can't turn them off. And so you're sitting there in the dark running your truck for how long with the lights on, blaring into another caravan or motorhome.
My solution that Mike's not impressed with is that he needs to get up early to do his video editing because then if the batteries die, the sun's
Yeah,
about to come
right.
out.
I'm not getting up early. Do we carry extra fuel only for the diesel heater?
Yeah, so we've got a little 5 litre.
Just have a 5 litre jerry
10
can.
litre. Our freshwater, the biggest freshwater week we did was about 5 days on our freshwater. We did have access to like top up the kettle over by
But that's
like
still
extra
having
water.
showers. That's still having showers.
So there was
though.
5 of us having showers. So that was, but I feel like that everyone's really good at kind of conserving our fresh water to however long we're planning to stay. So if we're planning to stay somewhere 2 nights, we can just as easily go through 200 litres of fresh water as over 5. So it's well communicated in the caravan about how long their showers should be. But the kids are really good at that.
Yeah.
Grey, we have a portable
Roll away.
40 litre rollaway that we can use as well, and then some of Mike's old plastering buckets.
So our water in grey is definitely enough. Like 200 litres of water is heaps, and 100 of grey is plenty as well.
Yeah,
because you're using your fresh water for shower, for like cooking and drinking as well. So a lot of it goes into that.
so we usually need to top up something else like food, or move on to a new spot.
How do you get healthcare on the road? Well, I guess kids are free for healthcare. We haven't had anything go wrong yet with us.
Well, you had your back, but I probably should
My
have
back,
called
we
that.
didn't go
I
to the
probably should have
doctor.
called the ambulance.
We had the pharmacy on board with my back. Oh, my back. It was not fun. Yeah, I went up to the reservoir this morning on a walk, actually.
Yeah.
Walked around the reservoir.
And Toby
Thanks,
and I
Bob.
went and found the waterfall. It's really cool here. So the Dunedin Park has, like, you just cross the river from the park, from the NZMCA, and you're on these walking tracks, which is really cool. So we'll probably do a bit more exploring of those while we're here.
Beer fest for 1 day. What? Only 1 day? What kind of beer festival was that? But you booked an extra day on the way back to do the Mount Fife. Yeah, it was a weird. I mean, me and Jade went up there and we climbed up and we got to the top and it was just so calm and beautiful up there. And then we came back down and we went back to the caravan and it was so windy. It was really weird that it was so windy down at the beach, but it wasn't windy up the top of the mountain. I
was a bit worried because when we dropped them off, we could see the top of the mountain for a couple of hours and then it disappeared and I was like, But you guys were fine. You guys were having way better weather than us down the bottom.
Am I still getting my various fitness missions in? Well, I did Mount Fife. I have been doing a bit of running, doing lots of walking and exploring, but I haven't quite got to the fitness missions that I've been wanting to. A big part of that, when my back went out, that kind of like set me back quite a lot because I was super cautious about not aggravating it. So I think it was 3 weeks from when it went out to I even attempted my first run, and I think my first run I only did like 1.5 kilometers or something. But I've gotten back up to me and Jade. We did that 17 k's up Mount Fife. So that was a pretty good go. But other than that, I don't think I've done more than 12 or 13 kilometers in a single run. Yeah, 5 days is pretty good for water because after you've been somewhere for 5 days, you normally feel like you've explored it and you're ready to move on to the next spot anyway. So generally, there's water available.
Favorite meal?
For the kids, would be pad thai.
Pad thai or they are pad thai. I'm probably curry.
Yeah.
I'm always curry. What's your favorite, Mike? Anything he's caught from the ocean. That usually
anything I've hunted and gathered.
That lights his face up. I think a lot of people ask us if we've got a barbecue on board, and it was something we thought about. We don't barbecue a lot at home anyway, so most of our food is like rice or noodles based, which we missed terribly when we were in the States.
Yeah. Yes, we did miss out terribly in the States. What are our other favourite meals? The kids really like having platters.
Get the crackers
like
and the
snacky kind of food.
And the hummus and the chop up some raw vegetables. they'll hoe that down.
Yeah.
My friend Talia came to see us when we were at Coesford in Christchurch, and she bought all this vegetables from their farm.
A bag of beans.
And she was like very impressed with my kids just hoeing down all these raw beans. It was great.
She brought this whole thing of beans, and they were all gone
They were just,
before dinner.
yeah.
The kids ate them raw.
Yeah.
No, we don't have condensation from cooking because we've got an exfoliator, so we
Yeah.
just turn the fan on. It sucks it all outside. Not been cold enough yet. We do get condensation inside.
We didn't last night with the heater
Last night
on.
we had none with the heater on. If we have like some kind of air movement in here, then we don't get condensation. Can I steal how you make your pad thai?
Come when you get your caravan, John. Come find us, and Mike will make you a pad thai.
So the big thing with the pad thai is you don't cook the noodles. You just put them in cold water. Just put them in cold water a couple of hours before you go to make it, because if you cook them in hot water, they just turn into a glaggy mess. So just let them sit in the cold water, and they're pretty much the last thing the second to last thing I usually fry off my veggies, fry off the chicken, then I chuck the noodles in, and then I put the paste in on top of that, and then at the very end I put in the bean sprouts and stuff. That's pretty much my top tips for the pad thai.
Yeah, I've noticed that with the kids too, that they've got more confident. I was just reading Neville's.
No one there judging them. No kids on the sideline.
Oh, I think just also like, I don't know, they
Different
like
experiences.
we let them go on their little missions together. You stay together, you go and do this, and you can do this, and you can do this, don't do this, and off they'll go. And so today I was like, you can go on these trails, you stay together. As soon as you come to an intersection, you turn around and go and come back the other way. And so off they went for about 20 minutes of exploring. And so I think they like
independence.
They like, that kind of feeling like they are confident in the world that they're exploring. So the only place that I'm still a little bit nervous is rivers, because our kids have grown up around lakes and the ocean. And rivers are just a different thing. So that's the only place that I still get a bit like, ugh. But they're learning about what dangers to look for in a river. So that's good.
Yeah, but otherwise, we are really enjoying our trip. It's been a little bit more expensive, mostly because of groceries than what we had anticipated. So we've been a little bit over budget. We also did buy, though, 2 new tyres for the truck. That was like $680 for some tyres, which kind of pushed up our budget a little bit. Otherwise everything's been going pretty good. And I'm looking forward to getting to the Catlins. I love those remote places. Looking forward to doing some fishing and some extra diving down there, and hoping the weather is going to be awesome.
Jared's got some cooking tips in there. Neville thinks our kids get along well.
Most of the time.
What?
80-20. 80-20.
How often do you guys get along?
Most of the time.
Most of the time. Well, have you guys pause that so Riley can go toilet?
Mm-hmm. She made us.
The movie's rules. Riley needs to go bathroom, so the movie had to be paused.
Oh, leave Riley.
Why? From a movie they've already seen like 10 times.
But it's so
She's going to miss it.
It's great.
Always look for the ford in a river. Tyres are my biggest expense these days. Yeah.
Mike needs a lot of convincing to cross the river.
Not really.
Do you think Dad shoves the GoPro in your face too much? Our faces too much?
Never.
All the time.
Jade, I always edit those bits out.
Sure.
Because every time we're like, oh, Dad! And then I don't get any good content, so it doesn't make the final
Sometimes
cut.
you get great content.
Yeah, sometimes.
Right,
No, see, look, Jade, they're saying no, he needs to do it more.
Hey!
Which means,
Who said that?
no, it says right there, no, he needs to do it more.
Come on.
Hey, Riley, I need to shove the GoPro in your face more.
No, you get too much.
So our GoPro died when we were in Kaikoura. and now we have the GoPro. We upgraded to the GoPro 10. Yeah. We also were given a
Thanks
GoPro
to
by someone that
Shannon.
follows us on the Red Dragon. Michael, they gave us the GoPro 7. They were in Kokora. So that was really nice of them. But I think we're going to use that one mostly for our water activities. And that's just because when I'm editing, it gets really complicated because the GoPro things don't line up. And when you're trying to find video from one thing that you did to another thing, they don't match up. They don't just automatically chronicalize in the right order of how you want them. So it's easier if you just keep things a bit more separated. We love you guys too. Oh, boy, this is a place across dangerous around certain water passage. All right, Tim. Well, unless anyone's got any last burning questions, you got 1 minute. Otherwise, we'll say goodnight to you. It's still light here in Dunedin at 10 to 9. How light is it? Oh, there you go. There's the bit of the daylight.
Yeah. It's still tripping me out how much daylight we have.
We can get out there, so for get out there and enjoy the last of the day. All right, guys.
It's too cold.
Stay safe. Oh, look at all these comments. Thanks for the live stream. See you soon. Yeah.